Just did it.
For those of you first joining us, essentially we're guys, a handful of guys who are, for the most part, consumed by professional development. We love podcasts, we love books, we love reading books, obviously. We try to give our take on what's going on, what's hot in the world without the fluff, a little bit more raw and a little bit of humor. Today, we're talking about personality tests, and we all took the Enneagram test, but before we get into that, we can either touch on anything new that's going on with you guys, or we can touch on that sound that we heard Bobby just play.
Oh, we want to touch on that again? We can more than just touch on it. We can jam on it.
So we all just found out that that's our intro.
Yeah, so the new intro that's on the podcast we listened to over the week. Actually, Matt hadn't listened to it, and I was like, dude, you hear that intro?
Give it a rip, Bobby.
Hold on, that one again?
No, the actual. Do you have the intro to us? Oh, I thought you had the intro pulled up.
Oh, I can.
We were gonna add that noise to the intro.
That's what I thought we were saying. I mean, I can
We're
pull
still
up
figuring
that
this
whole
out.
thing. I mean, if
Yeah.
you guys give me a
So
couple
Episode
seconds
3,
here,
guys.
While
We're working out some kinks here.
While he's pulling it
Does
up,
anyone have any Jeopardy music that we can play?
majority
for this?
of the guys here have a new challenge going on.
No, sorry. Sorry,
Dan, why don't you talk about your challenge?
Well, actually, I'll let Brad kick it off because they've actually started before me because I was being strategic. These fucking guys.
So
They're like, yeah, dude, challenge starts on Wednesday, but we're going to start on Monday.
Technically,
before
we
you
can't
get
call it a challenge either.
Before you get into what your strategy is, why don't you talk to people about what the fuck it is?
Okay, what is it, Brad?
Okay, so everybody knows we're all big Andy Frisella fans. He has a program that he created called 75 Hard. So basically the nuts and bolts of it are you have to drink a gallon of water a day, 2 workouts of 45 minutes each. One has to be outside. You have to read 10 pages of a real book, Colin. No digital books.
No digital books.
You have
Not
to take
even a Kindle, Dan.
That's not even a Kindle. You have to take a progress pick. And am I forgetting something?
I do
no
want to
cheat
take
meals,
a second.
no alcohol.
No cheat meals. Follow a diet.
I want
no
to shout
alcohol.
out to Dan for having my back today.
I did. I had your back today.
That just means
which
they're
is
gonna be
rare
losers.
that I have your back.
You did.
Brad, it's going to
you
be
did.
me and you.
So a little background on that is Colin was reading. Colin started 3 days ago. Bobby's like 20 days in.
Today is my Kobe Bryant, day 24.
Look at that, man. He's deep.
Rest in peace.
So I'm on day 5. Colin was like 3 days deep, and I asked him if he was reading a digital book, and he said, "Yeah." So he's
he's
back
lost.
to 0. So he's starting fresh again today. So
But today's technically day number 1
Day
for
one.
the group.
for our
For the
group,
challenge,
yeah, deal. So we're going 75 days from now, I guess, essentially, to see who can make it. Dan went with the strategy of eating as much food as humanly possible
I'm so
beforehand.
Dan took a picture of $20 worth of fast food yesterday.
And fried pickles.
So
Yeah, I hit up
where were you
Hooters.
before Taco Bell? You were at Hooters. That's where all that
Hooters,
fried food
yeah,
was.
we had some fucking fried food.
Beers.
Yeah,
You
had a
said
couple
we.
beers,
You
and
said
then
we. There was nobody in that other booth.
no, my wife was with me.
Okay.
She ate a salad.
So we had the Hooterizer, which is
Hooterizer?
cheese sticks, onion rings, and
Is
fried
that like
pickles.
their
You were
version of like a
deep.
sampler platter?
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
all the fried stuff?
Yeah, and then we left, and I drove past Krispy Kreme, and I was like, "Fuck, I know I should be hitting Krispy Kreme, but I'm not going to." And then we did hit fucking Dairy Queen.
Oh, I'm so
Can't
jealous.
pass
I
up the
love
banana
Dairy
split.
Queen.
But here's the thing, like, so I know the challenge is all for fun and games. Like, we want everybody to succeed.
There is $100 on the line.
Yeah, there is $100 on the line for anybody that fucks up. Like, I don't know if
100
you...
times 4, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
it's $100 a man.
So the winner is going to get $300.
Correct. Math. That's good math.
Quick math.
And
But-
Matt is not partaking
Yeah,
just
Matt-
because he's
Matt's
already
viewing.
skinny and fit and very responsible.
Yes!
Look at that.
Do you have an entire
Damn.
soundboard on there?
No, it's just something called Rap Air Horn.
Holy
It's
shit.
another app I'm gonna just
You're
promote
timing.
Just
on
drop
here.
on
Yeah.
there.
There's a
Timing.
sad trombone.
Timing.
There's this ham horn. It just goes ham, 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 ham. I don't know what the point of that one is, but it's fun.
Did you just see that coming, though? Like, you had that... on
I had the
cue,
sad
ready to go.
trombone waiting for like the first moment of like something like somewhat depressing, and that's depressing.
Yeah.
That he's resorted to White Claws.
Just gonna
over
watch from the
professional
line.
development.
Yeah, he wants to drink his
75 hard.
seltzers.
Yep.
Ain't no
Can't blame
laws.
That's
When you're
right.
drinking claws,
Yeah.
homeboy.
So,
There are soft seltzers. That's what I've been drinking.
Just doesn't do the same.
Just doesn't hit the same, does it?
Nope.
You don't get messages from your neighbor with soft seltzers.
That's it. Yeah, that is true.
In the meantime, while we're all talking, Colin's just taking notes still.
Yeah, Colin.
Had a week
Hey,
to
are you
had
ready
a
for
week
this
to
week?
prepare for
Are you
this.
ready for
I
this
took
week?
this personality assessment that we're going to be talking about like 5 minutes ago.
Whose
So,
fault is that?
Yeah, I didn't know. You know,
So-
I
like,
finished
our
mine
group
not
text
too long
is
ago
all
either,
about
so it's
dicks,
okay.
and like I just don't. I didn't have time to go back.
Well, I heard this, like, you're supposed to take a progress pick
Oh,
every
yeah.
week. And so I heard that, like, the more you lose, the bigger it gets.
Wait,
And so my
Plumping.
progress pick is kind of like,
You're
It's
talking,
just
Up here.
your
You're losing and
and I'm
gaining.
going to see if it gets bigger.
Oh,
then
I
that's
see.
my
Is this-
I
progress.
see what
this
he's
a
taking a
flash?
picture
oh,
of. Yeah.
he's talking about penises, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's talking about
Okay.
penises. I'm guessing flaccid. Are you looking to grow on the soft side or the hard side? Are you a shower?
I'm a grower.
You're a grower. Okay, good for you.
you can't get it up anymore.
So before we, get
Says the four
get into
kids.
the get into the girth of the podcast.
The blue
Nice.
chew hat. The blue chew hat.
Is there anything else going on in the professional development world? Anything, quotes, books, audio books that you guys listen to that you want to talk about?
This challenge right here is going on.
No, I mean, in terms of we have to read a book, so I don't know what books you guys are reading. I chose Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I actually had to look at that because I just chose this book like 2 hours ago.
It does look like you're pretty deep in it already, though. You're past 10
Oh,
pages.
yeah.
Unless that's a lot of
Oh,
content
no, this
sections.
is just this really cool BP Fab.
No,
bookmark.
professional development.
Oh,
bro.
professional
Created
development,
by-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, created by BP Fab out of
Yeah.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't
Very cool. It's a bottle opener, too. Whenever I complete 75 hard, I can open a beer.
What
So-
book are you reading, Colin? Well, restarting.
Yeah, I was reading Relentless, but now I got to come up with a different book. So.
You can just buy it paperback off Amazon. I bought all of my books recently off Amazon.
but I
I
need to
see
start
something I
now.
like, I buy it.
I need to start now, so I need something that's around the house. I
You
guess
better hope it shows up
I
by
might have one
today.
in my backpack. I'll have to check before we
Okay.
leave.
I have Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You do?
You want to?
Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
read
I've
it
never
yet,
read that
but
either.
it's sitting there.
It's a good book.
What are you reading, Bobby?
So I talked about it for a very brief moment last week. I'm almost done with it now. I'm reading that sleep book by Nick Littlehales, and so I've become super obsessive over what my sleep habits look like at the end of the day. I just bought I'm gonna mess up what exactly it's called, but it's basically like a daytime dimmer. So instead of having your alarm wake you up in the morning on your phone and then automatically your phone goes off, you get notifications, you get distracted by that, it actually is a light that gradually has like 1,000 different levels of light.
Mine would have to be on 1,000 to wake me up.
Really?
And
Oh,
it
yeah.
starts
Light
off, so,
wouldn't wake me
like,
up.
The idea is, so there's a lot of different pieces of this book.
It's like a sunrise, right?
Yep. It's the whole point of it is to get your circadian rhythm like intact. So like if you were camping, like the sun would naturally wake you up. It would get warm, all that stuff. Now you don't have that necessarily as far as the warmth goes in your nice house, apartment, shanty, wherever you live. And so I bought one of those. I invested way too much money in that. However, I used it for the first time this morning, and it was actually super fucking pleasant.
Did it work?
It worked, and
Did it?
I had like crickets waking me up. And the next thing I know, I was looking around, and I was just like, all right, I guess it's time to get up. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I set the dimmer to wake me up at 5:30, and I woke up at 5:40 without feeling like I had some annoying alarm that like where people have a lot of just negative like thoughts whenever it comes to that alarm that sounds off every single day. So the guy who wrote the book, Nick Littlehales, was he's a sleep coach for a lot of elite athletes like David Beckham and the whole Manchester United team, and with all these Olympic athletes. So that's something that has been like, I recommend that to all you guys. If that's a book
What's
that
the book called again?
it's just called Sleep by Nick Littlehales, and it's really opened up my eyes to just how to form better habits also at night, and then first thing in the morning too, instead of going right on checking your phone for text messages, emails, notifications, social media, all the distractions. I pick up a book and I start reading it. And it just so happens that I'm reading Sleep right now, but my next book that I'm reading is a follow-up to that called Why We Sleep. So
I thought it was going to be awake.
Yeah, I was for sure. I was gonna definitely. I would have bet money it was awake.
No, but that would be a lot better. It's by a different author. This was actually all recommended to me by one of my mentors, Chris Hager, who was with Aflac for like 15 years as a market director, and now he's actually started his own company. And this guy has a sauna in his house. He's got this chili pad to help him fall asleep, and he has all these different things that he does. And he's the one who actually turned me on to the Whoop as well, to just focus on getting your
Bobby's on
recovery
the
percentage
product
higher.
drop line today.
I am, dude. I need to
We
figure
got-
out
we
how
got
to
an
make
app.
some money
I'm
off
trying to
these
get them
fuckers.
sponsored,
Yeah.
bro.
I feel like Bobby has a secret deal outside
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
this.
me too.
Where he
Okay,
just
guys,
plugged
so-
himself into this
Waiting
podcast.
for him to call out.
Brings
I
all
don't
these
have
products in.
now on this little app that I have. There's no evil laugh thing, so I'm gonna have to work on my own.
Yeah, gonna have to
But,
work that one in there.
No, I wish I could say that there were some underlying motives, but there's not. I'm just really excited and am
what they all
nerding
say.
out about it hard. Once I do, I'll let you guys know.
What you got,
Perfect.
Brad?
The book I'm reading is Extreme Ownership by Jocko. I think most of you guys have read it before. I'm pretty deep in it. I actually really enjoyed it. I've always been interested in like wartime stories anyways, so then the fact that you see, a story behind the principle and the application is pretty sweet for me. It makes it really easy to read it. Pretty much every chapter has an example of what they did in Iraq, a principle behind it, and then a real life business principle to apply it, or application to apply it. So it's been real good for me so far.
Nice.
You'll read that in like
You,
3
Matt?
days.
Nah, I'm like 10
What's that?
pages.
What about you?
Stop, move
I'm
on.
reading a couple of different books. Nothing that I'm like sticking to right now.
Yeah.
I'm listening
Dabbling.
to audiobooks. Yeah.
What are you
That's about
listening to?
You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. It's not that it doesn't resonate with me. I read it 4 or
I've
5
heard of that
times.
one. I don't know where I just saw that recently, but I've been listening to Jim Quick because you mentioned that last week, and I know you sent one earlier this week too, Colin. But maybe I heard it somewhere on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I started this with this book called The Buddha and the Badass. Hasn't caught my attention yet, but there's some good concepts. So nothing crazy. You guys are fucking killing it right now. I'm just
We're forced to.
I always feel like Matt gets around the table, and then
and then it's just
we
like,
don't talk about you.
No, I'm just here for
He
the
dodges
agenda.
it. He
That's
dodges
all.
it.
That's it.
He's the MC.
Keep
Yeah.
everybody in line.
That's right. Speaking of which, we all took what's called the Enneagram test. Now, did any of you know that an Enneagram is the shape with 9 points?
I knew that after I looked at the
did-
website.
Well, no, I didn't know that was actually the name of the shape.
Is it on
Yeah.
the sheet? Oh,
I
look, it's
did
right
know
there.
it had 9 points.
So,
Oh,
Show that to the
I'm
viewers
sure a
at
lot of
home, Bobby. Put it up on the camera there.
It's that big. Oh, I thought you were talking about the
We
little...
got a camera right there behind you.
This is a page of what Matt handed us.
yeah. So,
And we're going to put this on the website, too.
Yeah.
If you guys want to take the assessment yourselves,
Let us
check
know
it
what
out.
you got, what you think.
So what
Yeah.
the Enneagram essentially tells you is it places you into a type, one of 9 types, and the big reason to do this, why it's cool, is to understand your motivators, understand obviously the personality type that you are, but more importantly, like I'm realizing that like understanding yourself and getting in through one of these tests is kind of the kickoff for professional development. Bobby.
God damn.
Good
So,
thing we aren't actually
kinda-
live.
Man, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, the app was
Guys,
cool.
I-
that was a cool
I
app.
had this on. So
Dude, I was on such a
we
fucking
could play
run
the
and I
rap
just-
air horn. I know.
forgot
This is
what I was
totally
gonna
fun.
say.
And we
Just
know how
start
Matt is.
over.
He's got to start
turn it
all
off.
over.
Okay.
Okay,
Do we
can
wanna
you
say
cancel
this
this?
from the
Enneagrams, it's really
From
cool.
the very top.
Welcome to the Brofessional Development.
Where the drinks are cold and the bitches are hot, hot, hot.
All right, where were we for real? For real.
So, you've got to understand yourself before you can start to improve upon it, right? Like if Brad was going to fix up a car, he'd want to take a look under the engine. If Dan was going to improve somebody's swing, he'd have to see the swing before he can actually do any of that. So that's the whole idea. It's understanding yourself so you can figure out what your motivators are to tap into those to try to get better as a whole. So we'll talk about, I guess we'll talk a little bit about everybody's take on this. And then we're going to have a bet going on, which is we're all going to guess each other's types. We'll go through a quick overview of each of those. And then from there, I think the loser has to buy lunch, right?
Healthy lunch.
As long as it fits within our diet protocol
correct.
for 75 hard.
Thank you. Yeah. So I guess you guys want to give your kind of, before we get into each of them, do you guys want to give your take on the test or what your thoughts are on personality tests in general?
I mean,
Well,
I can dive in. Like,
This was totally Dan's idea, so roll with it.
I don't know if it was my idea. It was
was your idea.
It was actually Matt.
It was
and
your
his
100%
Dan's
idea.
Okay, it was my idea. Fuck it. I'm not gonna argue.
Good idea, Dan. I think.
But anyways, I think personality assessments are really cool. I think they're better. So being in the recruitment space, I think they're great tools from a management perspective, but I don't think they should be used from a hiring perspective, even though most employers will use them for hiring. Hey, we want this certain type of personality. And I can see that if you actually use them the right way. For example, my last corporate job, we kept having high turnover in one department, except for a couple people. They fit well culturally, and we didn't know why. So what I did is I pulled all their personality assessments, and the people who were sticking around had a very similar personality. The manager had a similar personality, but all the people leaving were outside this particular personality type. And so I thought that was a super interesting, little study. I mean, it was only 10 people that I was studying, but it was just interesting from a culture perspective why they can be very important for relationships, for employers, but you can also use them to find people's motivators. How do I manage this person? And so I'm a big fan of personality assessments. The problem is that when people take them for, I guess, to get a job, a lot of times they may hit buttons that they think that the employer wants to hear, not necessarily what the
truth.
Yeah, and so that's why it's cool that we did it, because we have nobody to fucking lie to.
Yeah, the tough part in the recruitment world, or just in the hiring world in general, is if you're going to invest the money in it, you're going to disqualify people that are, that could potentially be a good fit, right? And it even says on the website, it's a real good indicator, but there's no such thing as an absolute, and people can change.
Yeah, and so that was one of the questions, since we're on it. It's a good spot to kind of plug this in, is do you think there's a personality type that is successful and a personality type that isn't successful, or are there successful people and unsuccessful people in every type of personality? And I would think it's more the latter, in my opinion.
I would agree with you. I mean, I don't think a personality actually decides if somebody is successful or not. I mean, they might fit in a better niche somewhere, but
Right.
I don't think that actually determines if they are successful or unsuccessful based on their personality. It might be tougher for some people, but
No, but I think, like you were saying, anybody can be anybody can be successful, but not everybody's motivated by the same things.
Exactly.
So the goal to become successful is to find what drives you, what motivates you, getting behind your why, and all that jazz. But I would agree. I don't think there's one successful type.
Yeah, I don't either. I think everybody just needs to know their strengths and weaknesses and live their life.
Now, I know Brad probably hasn't, but have any of you guys had to take a personality assessment to get a job?
Well, not to get a job, but with Aflac, we use Velocity. So I've taken a lot of these personality assessments, and we actually just got access to a paid version of this, and as managers we fill out our personality type, and it's this was the one that we took, the Enneagram, was really, I don't know what the word is, but it was pretty in depth. They asked a lot of questions that we had to answer, and this one that I did through Velocity is really about 10 questions.
Yeah.
And then we can also fill it out for people, so I could fill it out for people on my team, figure out what kind of person I think that they are, so I can manage to their strengths and their weaknesses better. And the point of it being shorter is to go through those quickly and figure out what kind of person that is. And we relate them to different bird types in ours. So this is really interesting to see it in a little bit more detail.
Yeah. Now, did you think this was accurate for you guys?
I thought it was pretty spot on for myself.
yeah, it was pretty spot on for me. There was one trait that they described that my wife laughed at, but that was it.
Really? Well, I mean, so we did a free version, and the one that we're going to put on the website will be a free version. There is a more in-depth version that has what's called wings, and I guess so you could be a type 5 with a wing here, and it means it just goes even further in depth than the one that we took, but this one was free, so we're fuck it, and then if you go to the Enneagram Institute's website, you can actually read even in more depth, and you can read how compatible you are with other types. So if you're a type 2 and you're in a relationship with a type 7, you can kind of see the pros and cons of that. Or if you're in a business relationship or whatever, you can kind of start to see how that works and how to manage that relationship as well. So I think it's super interesting just to kind of dive into this. And this was a fun little thing that we could do that I think is kind of good for, professional development, understanding, our strengths and weaknesses and motivators and whatnot.
Yep. I agree.
So let's hear it, Matt. What are all the types?
Okay, and if you guys, if you want to follow along, you can just Google Enneagram and kind of take a look for yourself. But the one that we took was yourenneagramcoach.com, and if you just fill out something, you can print off the overview of the core motivators. So, of the 9 types, I'm just gonna kind of list the names because reading all this would probably take some time.
Yeah.
But everybody has already kind of taken a look at all these, and so then we'll go around the room for each person, and then we'll just kind of see if we can pick out who's who. So
Are we gonna write these down?
So I'll write it down.
A secret ballot.
I'll write it down. So type 1 is the moral perfectionist. Type 2 is the supportive advisor. Type 3, the successful achiever. Type 4, romantic individualist. Type 5, investigative thinker. Type 6, loyal guardian. Type 7, entertaining optimist. Type 8, protective challenger. Type 9, peaceful mediator. So we will go with, here's what we're going to do. To make it kind of quick, we'll just start with Bobby, and then we'll go to my right. So essentially Brad started off. You're going to say what Bobby is. Dan, you're going to say what Bobby is. Then I'll go ahead and give my guess.
Okay, so obviously I met Bobby like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah. This is the hardest one for me too.
So to get a good gauge, off of him is tough, based on how much we've interacted. But am I just telling you, or am I telling everybody? Is this like a secret ballot?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, actually.
So just here's the deal. Just give what you think it is.
Just like the type?
Just give the type. We'll
Like,
just
just
we'll
say a
go,
number?
We'll
Who
go
am
circle
I?
around the room, or we can get into what we think.
We should do Bobby last, right?
I don't care.
Give him
though.
some time to think about it.
Brad's a
I
tough
don't
one.
give a fuck what.
Okay, I'll go with it. Okay, basically, quick guess of what Bobby is would be a type 5 as an investigative thinker. He seems to like really get in depth about a lot of the things that his books, his products that he plugs. So I feel like he really,
A lot.
yeah.
What type was that?
Investigative thinker.
Type
So,
5.
but I mean, it's hard for me to tell his, his weakness on it because I don't know enough of what would get under his skin. But I do think that he likes being capable and competent of everything he's talking about. So we'll see if that's right.
Okay, Dan.
Well, now that Brad kind of explained all that, I'm kind of leaning towards a 5. I would say 5 or 6.
So you got to pick one.
Yeah, it
Well,
can only
actually,
be one.
technically, that thing fucking gives you top 2.
I didn't see that. I only got one.
No,
Yeah.
if you scroll all the way to the bottom,
It'll give you a secondary.
Oh,
but
well, I didn't do that.
that's fine. I mean, we can
didn't
just
see
go
that either.
through, and I don't have to check any
He doesn't even know what
it.
a second one was.
I don't really
so
No,
care.
but I can find out.
I don't really care how we do this. Do you guys
Just toss
do
it
you
out
want,
there.
Do you want to just throw out the whole bet thing, and you just want to give your take on all of them, or do you actually want to try to guess it and make it a
I mean, I'm
competition?
really bad at this guessing shit. But I'll go
Just
with.
throw it out. Who
So-
cares?
so
It's
I say
fun.
5 or 6. I mean, I can't.
Pick one.
5.5.
Fucking pick one.
Oh, I see my top 2 types now.
Hey,
6. I'm gonna go
There we go.
6.
why? Why 6? That's so weird.
Yeah, why would you pick that if
Oh
you're
my
between
god,
two?
why would you think I'm a
Jesus,
I'm
dude,
just kidding.
You
I
picked
have
a
no idea.
6.
Matt, what you got?
Loyal guardian, dude.
Matt's definitely
he's a
got notes
manager.
that he took on everybody for the week, so this should be pretty quick.
No, I just
I'm
I
flattered.
You're not letting your people fucking leave.
type 7.
You're not leaving your people.
The entertaining optimist. So happy, fully satisfied, content. That kind of just screams Bobby, and I just think he's always got a
And let's be real, Matt does know Bobby the most,
yes.
so he should
True.
have the best answer here.
Correct. Who knows, man? You don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
All right.
Colin.
I put for Bob. I put successful achiever.
Do you go by Bob, by the way?
I'll go by Bob or Bobby. I'll respond to those. I don't mind Bob at all.
Bobby. You're
I had someone ask me that today. They asked me do you go by Robert? And I go, never.
Not wrong.
Colin just doubles down. He doesn't.
Hey, I'm
He
cool
doesn't
with
ask.
Bob. I'll answer
He
to
just goes-
Robert, Bob, Bobby. Those are pretty much what I'll answer
Okay.
to. Asshole.
Well, and then do you guys just want to go? Do you want to tell us now?
Yeah, you were spot on, Matt.
What?
7.
What was your second one then?
So the second one was actually number. Oh, where did it go?
The number
It
7,
was type number
entertaining
3.
optimist.
Oh, so Colin was right then. Colin
Yeah.
picked that.
Yeah, I
So
picked
Yeah. So yeah, 7 was my.
Okay,
my-
I
by
gotta be
far-
honest. I was just fucking throwing out a number here.
You were like, I didn't read these.
I love how Dan picks the topic and is the least prepared out of anybody to talk
That's true.
about.
That is true.
No,
I know
yeah,
mine.
Yeah, number 7, and I wasn't surprised. Well, like, I didn't read any of these before I took the test. I just took them, and I just answered them in really honestly. But I think it's totally right. I mean, you look at the, like, I thought the gluttony thing would be like the main key thing that you guys would look at, just because, like, you guys know how fucking hard I would go.
Well, I was going to say that, like, you don't smoke weed anymore, you don't drink anymore, but you used to do that. You used to consume heavy amounts of it, and you're very much a.
And I have a huge fear of missing out.
Now you're just a big, product whore and trying all these digital technology.
Hey, it's better than the other kind of whore I was before.
If you go on Bobby's Instagram page, he has all those people you can follow.
All the links.
10% discount
All
with
the links
coupons.
in his profile.
I need to figure
Affiliate
out how to use
marketing.
that. I have a
Use
cousin.
code #BobbyD.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that does all that stuff, and she is just super fit. And
Are you gonna list her name and Instagram page?
yeah, it's called the Sweat Stash. You should follow her, Annie Drummond. She's awesome.
So did you think you thought it was spot on? Pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I like the 3 as well. Like, looking at some of these other ones, I could see why you guys said some of those things.
So
but
make sure when we're talking about stuff and we're listing the number, make sure you say why 3 and what it is about those attributes that you like, just for everybody kind of listening.
Oh, sure. So, I mean, 7 was spot on, right? Just because, I mean, as far as the core fears, being deprived, trapped in emotional pain, limited or bored, missing out on something fun. I've always said that I have this fear of being boring, and I don't want to end up like one day having no friends, and like I want to keep making new friends. I'm not shy of that. So that's a huge thing, and I hate missing out on things that are fun. So even though I've stopped drinking, I'm like, I want to do all of it. I'm pissed that I can't go play volleyball right now, but it's only just because of my shoulder. I still would come up and hang out.
Right.
But that drives me crazy. As far as like the gluttony thing is just so spot on, man. Like, I find something that I love and I go really hard on it. It just depends on, like, I've gone hard on a lot of the bad things, and
Weed,
that's just a fear.
girls.
Yeah. It's just it's a fear
Power
of mine that I'm gonna that something like that's gonna happen. And at the end of the day, I really truly do just want to be happy, and I want to live a long life. So that's why number 7. Number 3, I didn't look at it a ton, but like, I do have a fear of being just like what is the oh shoot, I'm gonna butcher it, but they talked about it on that Jim Quick podcast just recently. Just like that fear of being almost exposed for. There's a syndrome that they have. I'll look it up by the end of this, so we can make more sense of it. But
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, yes, 100%. That's it.
So imposter syndrome is the idea that at any point in time, somebody's going to call you on your bullshit. Somebody's going to find out that you're a phony and put you on blast.
And I'll be 100% honest. Like, I'm pretty good at my job, and I've been pretty good over the last couple years of bullshitting my way through a lot of it. Whether I was like showing up hungover to stuff or making excuses for things because I was either drunk or I was hungover as shit, and I didn't want to do certain things. And I talked a really good fucking talk, and now I'm actually learning to walk it. And that's where I think that, like, I still have that fear, though, of like someone calling me on that shit.
Dude, I have the same shit. So, like, I think that's why.
We're not talking about your personality right now.
Dan's a 3.
Could you just
Dan's a
wait?
3.
Yeah, could you just wait a second,
Dan's trying to
Dan?
go all
It's
alpha.
not your turn
I'm
right now,
saying,
Dan.
We're talking about imposter syndrome, so fuck it.
no, go ahead.
I'm not ready.
No, talk. You can
Dan.
talk.
Fine.
We don't want you to give
Dan.
away your
Dan, come on.
personality.
Yeah, go ahead.
Never mind. You guys will call me out on my shit.
Dan's a 3.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, public speaking wise, I think that's part of the fear that at least I have. Plus, I think other people would have the same fear. Where if you go up and you give a speech or whatever, people will call you out on your shit. Like, hey, you said this and it wasn't true or whatnot. And I have that problem whenever I go to like a conference and I'm around all these fucking multi-million-dollar CEOs from the mortgage industry all around me. And it's like, I'm supposed to get up here as a 32-year-old, talk to all these dudes who built these massive companies and, be a subject matter expert, which I am, and I am the best fucking recruiter in the room.
Number 1 in the USA.
But at the same time, there's
think-
something
Right,
there that, like, I just feel like they're going to call me on my
imposter
shit.
syndrome, or do you think it's a fear of being inadequate? Like, do you feel like
No.
Okay.
I
Like
think
them
it.
taking you serious if you got up there.
I think they take me serious because of the one-on-one interactions that I have with them. But when it comes holistically, like, they've been in the industry way longer than I've been in the industry. And so, like, I can tell them what I think and what I know and what I'm seeing. But I just feel like they're gonna say, well, I've done this for fucking 30 years and you're wrong,
I feel like that's something where, like, I run into this a lot with my job, where we know the right way to run shit and make shit work, and we hate it when people like try and tell us like, oh, well, this is the way that we're gonna do this. And I used to just say, oh, okay, well, we'll do it however you want early on, and now I'm like, listen, if you want to do it that way, that's great. However, that's not how I do business, and Aflac will not be a good fit here if we set it up like that. So if we can't do it this way, we'll just have to shake hands, and maybe this will be a fit in the future.
Well, and what happens like when you become like an order taker, as I would like to call it, you know, like things just fall apart. You know what I mean? Like then you just have to say yes to everything. You find the need to. Oh, was I putting you to sleep?
No, I got to piss.
You know, like and then you're running around doing all these things, you know, and like you're all over the place. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like if you stick to a process, tell them the way it's going to be, I think people more respect that in the end.
Yeah, it happened today. We have this large client that we're working with, and they have locations in Illinois, Arizona, and California, and they're like, oh yeah, we just saw you coming in and sitting here, and like whoever wants to sign up signs up. And for us, it's like, well, no, we need a chance to educate every single person, 2 group presentations to see everyone, 1-on-1 presentations to educate them after. And it's not like, of course we do it because we're going to make more money that way. Absolutely. Yeah. However, it's also for them because we get to educate each person on what their options are, so they know what they're saying yes or no to. Yeah. If we just completely miss out on that, then, and I used to do this, whether it was a 3-man company or a 100-man company, we would just listen to whatever they have to say, because at the end of the day, we're just like, we want to get the account open and all this stuff. Now that we're focusing more on our process and why X, Y, and Z is so important, and explaining that to them, if they don't see the value in that, then they're not a good fit as a client.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. Our jobs are pretty similar, and I think the same thing. You know, like in very early on, when I would get an account that maybe I felt like I had that fear of being inadequate, you know, like because I was like, man, I've never dealt with an account like this. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and I get on the phone and I'm trying to like really schmooze them, you know, and like they ask me a question I don't know, you know, and then I start backtracking, and it's just it falls through. But I think it comes with progressing in your career, just having a little bit of a backbone to have a tough conversation. And I think, you know, like business owners especially, like they've built something from the ground up. They have skin in the game. They respect that. You know, they respect the hustle more than you think, you know, and I think if you go into it thinking that, you'll have a lot more success, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Agree.
So wrapping up, Bobby, is there anything in your personality?
No, that's a lot of me.
We're going to go through everybody, but is there anything in the personality assessment that like really stood out as like wow, or anything that you could use maybe to your advantage on how you could tap into your motivators?
So to be honest, I haven't looked at it enough to figure out exactly how I can utilize this, but I think it just makes, once again, my goal here with 75 Hard and me making all these changes recently is to be more self-aware. And that just, it confirms a lot of the stuff that I already knew. And then it also reminds me that, hey, like you were scared of like the imposter syndrome being exposed. Like you better make sure that you don't fuck that up.
Yep. Absolutely. So let's hit it around the table for Brad. Dan, start us off. Give the number for
Actually,
Brad.
I'll go last. Go.
Just go.
Brad's a hard one.
I'll go. I had Brad as a 1.
Okay. Bobby?
For Brad, so I was looking at this, and I just lost the one that I liked for him. So I liked him on type 5 for him. And do you want me to go into like some reasons why?
Let's just get the numbers for now.
Okay, sorry.
And then
Let Matt
5.
record it.
So wait. What? So just say what type 5 is.
Type 5 is the investigative thinker.
Okay. And then I looked at Brad as the protective challenger. I'm really starting to doubt that, but I already wrote it down.
It's tough. There's so many choices.
That's what I was. Yeah, it is hard to like analyze somebody else, but I was gonna go with type 8 protective challenger as well. I don't think you challenge people unless they say shit to you first, and then you'll challenge them. And you know what I mean? Like, but
right.
I don't think you go out looking for the verbal.
Sure, we've got 2 protective challengers.
Yeah.
We've got 1
moral
perfectionist, and then Bobby went with the investigative thinker. Brad, what's the verdict, brother?
Cue it.
I turned it off because I got that phone call.
No,
yeah, we heard it turn off.
So
I know.
Matt's 2 for 2 now. There it is.
Justin,
So
Coming through in the clutch.
I was the protective challenger. I didn't look
Where's
what
that
my secondary one was, and I
Yeah.
can't pull it up because I just took a screenshot of it. But so what that said was assertive, self-confident, intense, big-hearted, and confrontational. So my wife absolutely laughed about the big-hearted part because I'm probably like the most heartless person in the world. So there is that part, which maybe I have a heart, but I don't know.
Maybe you have a wing, like the wing that.
So there's
Yeah.
no absolutes.
Yeah,
You can
so-
be heartless and still be
So
that.
I do agree with it for the most part. I'm really intense. I'm really self-confident. Like I don't need somebody to pump me up. Like I'm ready to rock and roll anyways. The only, like I said, the only one that was weird was the big-hearted part because I really am pretty
Well,
heartless.
if you
So
dig in,
go ahead.
Jinx.
Jinx,
Go.
buy me a Coke or whatever. What is it?
Go ahead, Dan. You're thinking you're gonna ask
No, I
me.
was just
me a
gonna
house.
say, like, if you dig into a type 8 even further, it'll say you're a challenger, like you enjoy confrontation. But I don't think that you go and seek that. But I think that if it comes to you, you're all about it.
I mean, I've been in a couple fights before, so
and so here's one of the things you say you're like heartless, right? One of the core weaknesses it says is like it's a weird term, but like lust or excess, and then at the excess and at the end it says you'll push yourself willfully on life and people in order to get what you want, and that can come off as a little bit heartless because
Are you
you're
using
so
us?
because
Yeah,
you're
a little
so.
bit.
See, it's not me, Dan. It's Brad.
I'm just using you. I'm not using products.
Right.
You're not getting
He's
paid.
pushing products.
Do you see yourself doing that though?
I guess so. I feel like I just dude, I just work hard for anything. So maybe I do use people.
Maybe you don't even
know,
not
like,
necessarily
I
use
probably,
people, but
I probably
would
don't
say
notice it. Like
you
I use
bulldoze
them as
through things
tools
'cause
for.
you're-
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I mean, it. My wife laughed because she's like, "That's exactly you, except for the heartless part. You know, being heartless." So, and then she actually took it too. I don't remember what she got, but it was pretty much spot on for her as well. So I do think this is pretty accurate, and I mean, we're 2 people deep,
What would
and
you
it's
have
been
guessed
spot
your
on.
wife would have got?
I'd honestly have to look for it. Probably something that doesn't want confrontation at all. The exact opposite
The
personality.
peacemaker? I think
yeah,
there's a
probably
peacemaker
so.
one.
Did she tell you?
Peaceful me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So was there
So-
anything that you saw about that you'd take away and like apply
Type
it to work?
No, I mean, because I pretty much apply all these things anyways, you know. So I feel like it's just like Bobby said, it's just reassuring you that that is who you are, type thing. So I mean, I don't think there's anything that I would say like, oh, I need to do more of that because I feel like that's obviously just who I am. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
All right.
Cool.
2 for 2. Now we're going with
I got you.
That's right.
Dan.
Dan. So
Dan.
for mine, honestly, I had the protective challenger for Dan too. I know that Dan doesn't like to be perceived weak or powerless. I know Dan is very loyal, so he protects those in his inner circle. And the whole, the core longing is you will not be betrayed. And I feel like that's kind of what anybody wants. But yeah, I went with type 8 for Dan.
I got type 5.
Which is
Investigative thinker.
Why is that?
Well, I was looking at the is the third one, is it the weakness?
Yeah.
Feeling that you lack inner resources, that too much interaction with others will lead to catastrophic depletion. Maybe I misread that. Yeah, maybe I misread that.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I want to go back and.
We'll revisit
It's all right.
Maybe we'll circle back.
Yeah.
Bobby, what do you got for Dan?
I actually was gonna say the same thing for me on that one. I want to say type 7.
You just called Dan an optimist?
he dreams big. He dreams big.
I think that Dan has some great moments.
That's Bobby being the optimist.
Thanks, Bobby.
You're welcome.
Once you start hanging out with me more,
So basically, you're saying I'm wrong. Maybe type number 2.
So I had 2 that I penciled in for Dan actually. So I don't know. Did you list
What's your
both yours?
primary?
yeah. So I have
So you
I
know
have
both
one
yours?
that's 97% me, and I
Okay.
have one that's 89%.
I had 5 and 8 for you.
Okay, so what I had
What are
was
you going with?
actually type 2 is what I wrote down first,
I'll go
was
with
a
8.
supportive
I think
advisor, and then I actually switched it to what I think is 97% is to type 3, which is the successful achiever.
And why is that?
Because I feel like Dan like has a guard up of like he doesn't want people to think that he sucks at life, because I feel like he talks about that all the time, like people thought I'd never be anybody, blah, blah,
Fucking
blah.
haters.
Yeah.
That's why I
So,
had you at 8.
and I think he wants to be successful. So that's what I had down.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? Any other? Cool. Dan, what do you
Colin,
got?
cue the music.
So I was surprised whenever I got it back because I thought I was type 3, which was my 89%. 97% type 7.
Hey,
Oh,
let's
look at
go!
And I-
bang, 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 bang.
and I
Fire
heard
that
it.
button.
I 100% agreed with it. I wanted to be more of a type 3, and I didn't choose
Damn.
the answers because of that. But I'm super spontaneous. Like, I don't have a calendar. I don't get locked down. And like,
That's a big reason why I chose that. I was thinking like anytime pretty much if I just, as long as I message you and say, hey, you want to go play golf, I feel like you would say yes.
yeah, as long
Even
as
though
Matt
we haven't
doesn't
played golf yet.
Well, if Matt has me locked on his calendar somewhere, I can't go. But other than that, I'd be able to. And
Keep
that's the
him on that
thing. Like,
lockdown.
I don't like being restricted from being able to do whatever I want to do. And so the spontaneous
feel
part for sure. And this printout that we have in front of us isn't as in depth as the Enneagram Institute's description. And if you really dive into your personality type on that website, it'll really give you a lot more details. I think. I don't know if did you go through that, Brad?
I just said like the 5 bullet points that they listed underneath, which to me made a little bit more sense than what I'm reading here on this handout.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
And then the type 3, obviously, like, yeah, I mean, I've huge, and with type 7 as well. Type 3, you nailed it. Like, I am I'm very optimistic. Like, I rarely complain, and I always look for like, what's next? Okay, this is a negative situation. How can we make it a positive? How can I grow this? Or I have these huge fucking business ideas all the time, probably like 10 a day, I would say.
That's awesome.
So
I'd say like 30 a day.
You're good for
that's what I tell Matt, but I'm kind of
30
backing it down
30
in case
rack of
anybody
ideas.
challenges me on it, you know. And then
So there's every once in a while, because Dan's got his employees and I've got one employee, and like we're collaborating on some things together. There's some times where we get in these like little arguments in our desks right next to each other or through email, and then it's like let's go to the fucking conference room, and then we're sitting there and it starts talking, and then you're just like yelling, and then and one
I'd
of the
love
times
to be a fly on the
one
wall.
of the,
Yeah.
one of the times I was talking about an idea I had, and Dan was just like. He's like, motherfucker. He's like, I come up with at least 30 ideas a day. and then we go out of the room, and it's just like dead silent. Like all the music stopped. We're like, what if they could hear us?
Yeah, they could definitely hear us.
They turned off the music on purpose so they could hear what you were talking about.
Oh,
So yeah. So anyways, I thought it was spot on, especially when I looked at 1 and 2 combined. I definitely.
I'm just happy to get one person's right.
look at that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I
there
can
you
get
go.
one more.
You should get Matt's.
I hope so. I'm going to try.
okay. So then we'll move to me then. Colin, you want to start it off?
I had you as a 1. Through and through. Moral perfectionist.
As did I. Number 1 as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think that we're pretty similar too, man. I think that you're a type 7.
What's the type 7? What's the name of that?
The entertaining optimist.
Okay.
And I'm not just trying to like skate by and be like, I'm just going to pick that one again. I really do feel that.
Going with the strategy of like multiple choice answers, so we pick the same one.
While Dan's looking, does anybody want to elaborate on why in either of those?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know, man. Every single time I'm around you, you're always in a good mood. I very rarely see you in a bad mood. So I think just as
Come
far
to
as
the
like,
office sometime.
hey, dude, I have days like that too. Just where like you're like, you should see Dan sometimes at the office, or like you guys don't see me sometimes whenever I get fired up with some stuff. But overall, like I feel like that's the kind of personality that you have, and I feel like it's that same thing. Like you're never gonna want to miss out on going to do something fun. And like it's always like a volleyball tournament or going to do something. And I think that that's something that's huge. So that's where I see that being your personality type.
I had 1 because of having integrity, being good, balanced, accurate, virtuous, and right. I think you're all, the way you come prepared to every single one of these podcasts, and then the core weakness, repressing your anger. I think like you have a good idea of how you want these pods to go, and then sometimes we deviate from it. And I can read it on your face, like you're like, oh shit, come on, let's
script is
He's
over.
the glue. He's the
Bobby,
glue.
silence your phone.
Yeah.
But I love you.
But fuck you, seriously.
Dan, what'd you have?
I think you're a 1, but I was looking for something with a little bit low patience. And I couldn't find it on this sheet.
Low patience wasn't listed
I don't
as a
see-
personality trait.
I don't see motherfucking cocksucker on here.
I'm gonna go with type 10 dickhead. no, Matt's a good dude. I definitely think planning and being a perfectionist is there. But I was just looking for something with low patience because we get in a lot of things where you follow up very quickly, like within hours. Like, hey Dan, so how should I plan for? It's like Matt, we just talked about that like 2 hours ago.
Right. Fuck. You never know. You never know how lunch is gonna go and what you should wear.
Right.
So 1 was my secondary. I was a 3. So type 3 is the.
Who got that? Did anyone get it?
No, I would have actually never thought that too.
So type.
I was gonna guess that.
I can see it.
It's interesting, and I'll explain a little bit of why. So type 3 is the successful achiever. So it says they stand out for their confidence, efficiency, and ability to excel. Like the number one thing I highlighted there was like efficiency. Like I like being efficient. I like being on top of things.
And I wish we could have seen like those traits versus what I just read on this piece of paper.
What? Well, so this is a different, like, I just pulled out. The only big
so Matt
printout
has
was my
a
own.
special
It's just my
sheet
own.
that none of us have.
I'm
He's a
sorry.
moral perfectionist.
I'm sorry. I fucking see. This is fucking type 3. But you know why? It's because I hate looking stupid. I'm
Imposter
realizing this.
syndrome.
I'm realizing this more and more that like as much as you want to say like don't give a fuck what people think, I absolutely do, and I've grown. But like you go back a couple of years and it was the idea of how I looked so heavily outweighed what I actually was doing. So I would have much rather given off a perception than actually be the person. And I still am, like to an extent, like full transparency. Like there's a lot of times where it's like I would much rather look like Dan. I dress up for work every day. It's like
Look at you now.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we start a video
professional
podcast.
side.
And
Shit.
You're wearing your gym
I think we
clothes.
should all wear
I
frat
borrowed one of
tanks
Dan's
next
day
week.
shirts.
You look like you ironed your gym shoes.
We'll do
You
interviews.
look like you ironed.
We've done interviews where like Matt will be like, "Hey, I'm bringing somebody in. You want to talk? We want to meet with them today." And I'll literally look down and be like, "I have a stain on my shirt, but I'll meet him."
White stain on his crotch.
Yeah. So, but it goes to show like so.
right.
Oh, white stain on the car. He's talking about jizz. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm fucking done.
No, go ahead.
No, I think that makes sense. That was my second choice. That was actually what I was about to choose, and then I was like, I'm on a roll with the 7s. Let's keep the 7s.
Better keep it
hot,
going.
baby.
Everybody's a fucking seven.
So I think the biggest thing here is the key motivators are wanting to feel valuable, competent, and accomplished. Yeah, absolutely. It said the key objections are I want to avoid failure, which I 100% fucking do. That's why I try to come prepared. That's why I try to understand what's going on so I don't fail or don't look stupid. Being unprepared, average to others, yeah, that goes along with perception. Don't want to be overshadowed. God damn it, I hate when Dan fucking texts when I'm in the middle of trying to tell him something, and then I'll just
I
stop
hate
talking
that
in the
too.
middle of
I
it.
hate when people do
Wait,
that
he
too.
texts you while you're
No,
having
No,
a
no.
conversation?
So
there's-
spontaneous
Nice
and
today.
like, here's the thing: as soon as I get bored with a situation,
Oh yeah.
I am
It's so
checked
fucking-
You
out.
guys are in a meeting
Oh, yeah.
together, and
I've
he'll be
seen this
texting you.
happen.
Well, he'll
No,
start
so
he'll
we'll
start
be
rambling.
talking-
I'll be
No,
like,
he'll be
We'll
texting somebody
be
else.
talking about something, and Dan will just go down and start texting on his phone, and I'll stop, and then there'll be a moment of silence. He'll go,
Yeah.
huh?
no,
I
I'll
was
be like,
listening.
I fucking heard
Oh, okay.
you.
I
Like,
thought
I
you were
feel
saying
you.
he
I
was
feel you there.
texting you while you were talking to him, and I was like, "What
like,
is he trying
Matt,
to?"
shut the
He's
fuck
like,
up.
"Here's something that really
You
motivated me
look
today."
fucking hot today.
But no, I thought it was pretty spot on, and it's something that I kind of already knew about myself. But it's one of those things where it's like the weaknesses in all of these. We talked about this. 1, nothing's absolute. 2, going along with that, you can change, right? Like you can over the years you shift because your priorities change. But I love these because it's an insight into motivators, like the fact that like my perception and what do they call it? I'm blanking on the word, but how you're looked at in like the hierarchy of things. Like if that's a motivator to you, it's like if that's what motivates me now, I'm not gonna.
status?
Yeah, status. If that's a motivator to me, even though it's not this like my motivator is curing fucking world hunger or whatever it is, like I'm going to use my motivator to my advantage. It could change, but if I know that's my motivator, it's like, okay, why not push it to do better.
Lean into it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool.
I was a 7.
Oh, we didn't even get the guess.
You were up
I was gonna guess a 7.
Yep, that's what I was gonna guess too.
Oh my God.
You were putting it away.
7.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
go ahead and say
Jesus.
7.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
Colin.
guess. I was gonna guess 7 for sure.
If
What did I have?
I was a betting guy, I'd probably bet on 7.
Well, okay, well,
It's a good guess.
did you
I
see what your secondary one was?
No.
okay.
Let me. I
had-
was actually gonna say you were a 2.
Hey, stop saying 2 and start saying what it is, because people.
I was
out there
gonna
can't
say-
read
I was
it.
gonna say
yeah.
you were a 2 supportive advisor.
That's what I had. I had supportive advisor.
I had type 3 successful achiever down.
I was actually gonna say successful achiever as well.
Okay.
For you.
So that'd be
why?
interesting to know what his second
So
where
you
one
guys,
was.
why successful achiever?
I don't know Colin at all. Like literally 2 podcasts now.
Yeah.
And just text back and forth. So I just know. Well, with that being my secondary type, and like once again us having similar things that we do, like it's really easy to like just be thought of someone who is like not awesome. Like we're insurance. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people don't think highly
It's
of
not sexy.
insurance.
Yeah.
You know. But we're gonna try and make it sexy. So that's why I thought that for Colin just randomly.
Yeah, the reason I thought it was I feel like him and Dan get in like these little bickering matches about stuff like, what, you don't think I'm right? Like, so I feel like he'll just be sitting across the room from Dan just looking at him like, what, you don't think so? Like
He
everybody
always
else is having
questions
a,
what
yeah.
I think.
So that's why I put that out there.
It's your eyes.
It's piercing.
You know? Yeah, no. It's just to see.
He just wants to bang you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went with 2 is we've had conversations, and I feel this way a lot too, but being appreciated and, just being taken seriously as a professional, there's a lot of times where, like, I won't be taken seriously just because of my past and whatnot.
Because your
Like,
stains on your shirt.
yeah, because I have this fucking stain on my shirt, but I can.
It's his favorite
but you
shirt.
I can hire you.
Your wife needs to buy you a Tide pen. Those things are great.
Really? I'll have to look into those.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Amazon, I'll send you a link.
Amazon affiliate here.
God damn, he can plug anything.
So,
But anyway, so that's why I chose 2.
So what were your thoughts on being an entertaining optimist? Based off what that explains, Colin, what can you relate it to how you actually are?
I looked at the weaknesses first, and I'm somebody who I try to. It's right, like I can take advantage of a situation, or I can go too far to the wrong extreme or a good extreme. I'm like you, like if I throw myself into something, I want to give it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with bad things too. That
Yep.
could be drinking, smoking, like going out, staying out way too late, just taking advantage of it. But like that's kind of what drives me is like I know that's where I've been in trouble before. I know that that's what I've been judged on before in my life. So like I try to keep a good grip on that. Like so I'm like very, very hard on myself. So type 7 it makes sense completely. I would have also said type 2, but
Did you say your secondary already?
No, I didn't look at it.
You had to scroll to the bottom. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the weaknesses it's spot on, and that's those are kind of the things that drive me, is just kind of be a better person. Is like I like to take self inventory a lot, just to make sure I'm living my life how I want to be living my life.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. So, just kind of a running tally here. Colin and Brad didn't get any right. So,
Damn.
you guys are going to have to buy us lunch sometime.
I did get Dan's secondary right.
Horseshoes
Close.
and hand
So that's
grenades.
like a 0.5.
It was only like 5% difference, right?
Wah,
So
wah,
I was actually thinking.
Oh, there it is.
So we have it. Yes.
I was actually thinking if I'm a 7
hooked
and
it
a
up.
3, that's
Stay
like you
off
have being a 10. Right?
Exactly.
No fucking way.
Now the thing is, you don't have to stay off the weed for the 75 hard challenge. That is not in there.
I know.
Stay
I didn't tell you guys, but I'm going to
the
Vegas in like a week.
Oh man.
no.
So are you gonna lose the challenge
I'm
while you're
not.
there?
He's just going to get high as a kite.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we should
Bro.
circle back to the challenge real quick and touch like
I think so too.
because Bobby's 24 days in.
Today's
Okay.
day number 24.
So what was your starting weight? And I know
Uh,
it's not a physical challenge; it's more like a mental
My
toughness.
starting weight was 255.
255, and to date, do you know where you're at?
I weighed myself this morning 217.8.
So what is that? Quick math.
You
would know probably.
is
35.
18, yeah.
It's 35.
Is it 35?
Look at that.
55.
No, it's 38.
Okay, so that's a lot.
Or
So that's
37,
impressive.
if you round up.
So I started 5 days ago
Do you
at.
have your abacus with you?
It's 37.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I started 5 days ago. I was 213 essentially, and I'm already down to 207 today.
Love it.
So, Dan, you
Pound
I
weighed
haven't
in?
weighed in. I thought we were going to supplement superstore.
Do you have a
today.
scale here, Justin?
Yeah, he does. It
God
can't-
damn it.
He
It's
probably
a
has a
little
scale,
What
but
kind of studio is
you
this?
can't. Yeah, you can't
know-
weigh me with it.
Colin?
That's a big nug.
I'm sitting at 177.
Dang.
So-
Look at that skin and bones over there.
No, man.
I know.
Well,
Must
so,
be nice to like have a high metabolism.
so this is and the
Do you
reason.
just want to ask what Matt weighs too, just so we know?
He
Even though he's
knows
not
for
doing
sure.
this?
Yeah, 196.4.
0.437,
Body fat?
521.
What's your body fat?
I got a scale in my car.
12.3%.
Do you?
Nice.
I'm
So-
gonna get under 10% just
Woo,
to be
woo.
because
Is
that
there
was
like
his
a
goal.
whistle,
but he
like a
can't beat.
cat call on there?
So here's the cool thing, and let's talk about this. So they're going to Supplement Superstore to get weighed. They've got a machine there because I think the overall goal isn't necessarily like just lose weight. It might be like the overarching goal, but for most people, like Colin probably wants to put on a little bit of muscle too, right? Like I think that's a
Picks
whole.
a skinny guy.
That's a,
Goddamn right.
that's a yeah.
Body
that-
fat, getting body fat
It's
lower.
overall body composition.
Composition?
Jesus.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Overall body
Composition.
Fuck man, can we cut that out?
No,
No, that's all part
Actually,
of it.
there's no cuts on.
I think I
this
just
podcast.
stroked out.
We're
This is
actually
a
live.
completely raw podcast. Like there are no edits.
I think I just stroked out. So
No ads.
So
You're gonna
it's
stroke
a,
out
it's
later.
about
There's
Bobby.
Aflac has a policy for that.
it's a really cool machine that's going to show everything, right? And not just the weight.
So we can post that stuff too,
We can
We have
post
to,
it.
yeah.
We'll put it on the.
except my weight.
And the guys, and not to
No,
keep,
yours too, Dan.
and not to keep plugging Frisella, but the guys at Supplement Superstore are way better than like the GNC guys or the Vitamin World. And you can just go in to get your measurements
And
it'll
support
show,
local.
It'll show a graph. You can go in. You don't have to buy anything. You can just check in. You give your phone number, and they create a profile for you.
How much does it cost? Do we even know that?
$0.
Oh, it's zero to
Zero.
do that?
You
Free
can go in there.
$99.
You can go
Oh,
in there
wow.
and
Zip,
not buy a
nada,
single thing.
none.
Put you on a diet plan.
Yeah,
too.
you can go in, not buy a single thing, and you can go in. I go in every Monday. Every,
Oh, shit.
Every Monday.
Do you really?
Yep, every Monday.
And
Well,
did-
for the past 4 weeks.
He's got it on his calendar, so
Yes,
it's like every Monday at
penciled in.
11:15.
Here, I want to ask Bobby. You dove into it last week, but Brad and Dan, like, what are you guys hoping to achieve? Like, what's your big bugaboo?
So like one of the things for me is not everybody, but a lot of people see 75 hard as a weight loss challenge, and I think it's more of a time management challenge or a mental challenge. And so for me, it's like it's cool to see the weight loss and the you kind of reaping what you sow or seeing those benefits of going through it. But for me, it's really trying to control my day versus my day controlling me. So that'd be my goal.
I love that.
So my goal is slightly more centered weight loss, but like what Dan says is what I found already in 5 days. Like today, I got a lot of work to do, and it's like 4:30.
Yeah.
So I still have to do 2 workouts tonight. But I'm more like I want to be able to say that I actually did it, like 75 days, because you see, like we've seen people who said they've done it, and I can tell you right now after 5 days. They did not do it for
They didn't do it.
75.
There's a
Yeah.
super cool pin or something like that you can buy too once you're done with it. So we'll all carry those around, or
Yeah.
we'll all go get tattoos.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
exactly.
I was gonna say that same thing.
I already have a bunch
People
of
do it for
tattoos. I'll get
marathon-
one more.
people
I
do
don't
it for
care.
marathons. This is tougher than a marathon.
I
So-
totally agree.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the mental toughness part of it's definitely the bigger challenge, and like I told you guys, the amount of knowledge that I've soaked up already just by listening to podcasts every morning on a walk is like more than I have in the last month.
I seriously haven't read a book in like 3 years, and now I'm almost done with my second one since I've started it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is already just such a big deal for me personally.
And I think that's a total business idea. 75 hard book suggestions,
Yeah.
because there's none out there.
Yeah,
Frisella has like 4.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Bobby might have to plug that next week.
I can
Matt,
work on
Matt,
that.
what's your goal for like watching us do 75 hard?
My goal is gonna,
To hammer a bunch of seltzers.
what my goal always is. I'm gonna track your guys' progress. I'm gonna show you a graph.
He's gonna have an
Thanks,
Excel
It's
sheet.
gonna be outlined in Excel. I'm gonna put it up on a PowerPoint, and I'm gonna explain who won at the end of it.
I love it.
Now, Matt, so you're the outside guy here. What do you think's going to happen with the
Who do
4
you
of
think's
us?
gonna
Oh
win?
yeah, so you can bet. You should be able to bet on a horse.
Because I'm personally, I want everybody to do it, whatever.
I thought it was going to come in a lot.
Oh, I thought it was him.
No, we got access to a soundboard, bro.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
you should pick a horse that you want to bet on.
I will. By next week, I'll have a horse.
All right, I love it.
And
Yeah,
Dan
this is a lot of
Dan
analytics.
will already be done by then, and I'll be able to pick between you.
Do you really think Dan will be done by next week?
No, Dan's incredibly competitive, and it's not because he wants to win; it's because he hates losing.
It's true.
So I don't think he'll be done by next week.
What do you think the biggest hurdle is going to be for you guys?
I think I will just be honest. I think I have an advantage of being 24 days in. I've done this. However, I think that I could. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say once you get to day 40 and 50, it just gets super crazy difficult. I mean, I'm motivated by a lot of external factors right now, and now I'm motivated by one more by not losing $100.
Yeah.
And I really want to be able to be like, yeah, I fucking won that shit.
got your money in
right
my
now,
pocket.
like in my head, I already know that at the end of this, like I'm winning this. Like, and I hope we all get through it. I hope it's like, what's the tiebreaker? Do we just go until someone gets Taco
Somebody
Bell?
taps. Yeah. I think me and Dan's are actually going to be the same, and I think it's just because we're married and have kids. It's just going to be the time management of making it happen. Like, I mean, I have to get up before work
that's
to do a
huge.
workout, and then I have to find some time after I get home
that's Colin,
to
too.
do a workout.
Yeah, I got a baby.
Yeah, I
dog.
know, but
You got-
his is a
So you
baby.
guys all
one.
have,
Oh,
you
you
guys
guys
all
doesn't
have
move.
kids.
Yours is a
Yeah.
baby.
You have kids
That's
too,
so
Brad.
fucking easy to
You'll
take care of.
you'll know when
It-
you get there. They
yeah,
sleep.
yeah.
He's at the.
Once
I
they
have to
start
walk
running
my
around and
family's
breaking
dog
shit.
like once every couple of days, guys.
Yeah. No, do you
responsibility.
understand what's happening? Like, they are already coming up with excuses
Yeah.
of
No,
why
no,
there's going to
I'm-
be harder
That's
and why
why
they're
I'm
going
not
to
worried
lose.
about it.
Colin
Matt.
asked for our biggest hurdle.
Okay.
That was the answer.
I think the fast meals, that's gonna be the hardest one for
Yeah.
me, because
Crazy
like
bowls of
today,
wraps,
like I
dude.
literally left the office, went home and grilled.
I
So-
figured you stayed home just to prepare for 75 hard today.
Nah.
That meal
really
prep
did.
is
the
that meal
whole
prep
day.
I
is
did.
super important. Man.
I thought he was like, I have to take the day off because I have to do 2 workouts. I have to
I'm
meal prep.
actually quitting my job for 75 days just to win this.
I think that this will, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to make us better in our job. And we talked last week about like the like attracts like with my story and how more people that I know are doing this now. I think that you guys you're gonna get better clients. They're gonna hear about this. I think we should post it on our social media. Like I've been sharing that thing to my Instagram and my Facebook. I think you should set it up and share it on there, man. I think it's going to help us not only just in our personal lives. We might change someone else's life that needs it, like that seriously actually needs this, like I needed it, or maybe someone that just wants it, like a lot of you guys want it. I think that's going to be really impactful, and I think that's going to show in our personal lives and our professional lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
So we're gonna wrap this up. I wanted to ask Colin about one thing. So I have a friend that
I'm
knows
scared.
Colin.
Oh,
Colin, can you baseball games?
What?
Did
Can I
you?
play baseball?
No, Cardinals. Do you have a story around that?
Been to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So are we diving into something
Have-
that's
no,
really
this is
embarrassing
just
right now for
just to
Colin?
wrap it up. So
I jumped on the baseball field during a
no way.
during a Cardinals Brewers game. Yeah.
Is there video
When was
evidence of
this?
it?
I think there's a couple pictures somewhere, maybe on my old Facebook.
I love it. Were you streaking?
So no.
No,
Set the-
you
set
want to
the
be
scene.
taken
So-
seriously.
All right, so here's how it happened. I'll tell you exactly what the turn of events. So
I hope you got $100.
So my cousin, it was his 21st birthday the night before, and I had gotten home, and my roommates had tickets to a day game. So it was like 12:15, 1:15, whatever, like a day game would be. And we got hammered, and we were sitting there, and my roommate goes, "I'm fucking jumping on the field," and I was like, fucking asshole, he's not going to jump on the field.
You won't.
And I told him, I was like, I'll go with you. And I'm like looking around like,
Yeah, nobody's gonna do
and he
this.
goes, all right, dude, let's go. And we walk all the way down. We're going all the way down to the stairs. We had shitty seats, so we're going all the way down. And when we get up to like the aisle of the right field wall, I stopped him and I was like, dude, how far are you going to take this? Like, you really going to do this?
You walked all the way down there.
Yeah.
He looked at me drunk as a skunk and was like, we're fucking doing it. And he looked up at our little aisle section, and every single one of them was like looking down, and he was like, dude, we can't look like bitches now. We either got to leave or we got to do this. And he just turned around, walked down. I followed him, and this like old lady, she was an usher. She was like, don't do it. and, like I jumped in. There's
She can see it in slow mo.
There's like a flower pot, like or something like right in between the wall and the first section, and I jumped in. I turned around. I apologized to her, and I hit the ground.
Were you just like, I'm sorry,
when we-
I have to
Did
do
you
this?
get tackled?
Right when we hit the ground, my roommate just got fucking leveled. This dude
Really?
had to be waiting for something like this to happen.
His whole life?
Yeah, his whole career, he's like,
was
somebody
nice.
steps
You
on
get to
this is
run a
my
little bit on
field.
the field?
So
Yeah.
here's what happened. So this dude takes him down.
Laid out.
I look
Ray
over-
Lewis.
I look over and my
It's just
roommate's feet. Yeah, my roommate's feet are like he's parallel.
Now you're wide open.
Yeah,
now it's
end
just
zone's
you in the
in sight.
baseball field.
So I take off towards like left field, and I see this guy Paul Blart just like
Paul
fucking waddling over from the other side of the field, and I thought what he
Did
was
you do a
grabbing-
deke?
I thought what he was grabbing was a taser, and he's like, "Get the fuck on the ground!" And the dude who took him down grabbed my legs and ripped me down.
While you were still running?
Pulled me back to him, and he cuffed us both right there. And since I didn't get very far, there was this little girl as I was walking into the tunnel. She was like, "Boo!" She's like, "You suck."
So you have to redeem yourself
is that
in
where you, like-
2021 is
Yeah.
what we're
Is
So
that
how
how you
far-
changed your life? That was like rock bottom.
What was
When the
Cardinals
little
jail
girl was
like?
saying,
Actually,
boo.
it's fucking hardcore. They are dicks. And so my
Yeah.
roommate,
You ran on the
they're
field.
like throwing us up against the wall, and my roommate's like, "Get the fuck off me, pig!" And I'm like, "Dude, shut up."
We're
I'm in this
already
too.
arrested,
he's-
don't make it
he's not
worse.
just gonna whoop
And
your
so-
ass. He's gonna whoop my
And
ass
so,
too for your.
So we had a buddy who got us out. He worked at the Justice Center, and he got us out. And we still got tickets and stuff. But yeah, I mean,
So you're not
What
banned
did
for
that
life or
cost you?
anything?
I mean, I went back that year. I was like, "There's no way they got me."
Yeah. They don't
There's
it
no
know.
way.
cost
And
you,
then that
if you don't
guy's
mind me
waiting
asking?
for
Actually,
you.
so we got very, very lucky. So the judge looks at our charge and like looks at.
Did he watch
everything
the
that
video?
happened, And he started laughing and goes, "Get your ass to the end of the line," because we were down at the courthouse.
They had some more important stuff to deal with.
And
that was probably his punishment,
After everybody
waiting.
was gone, he was like, "I'm going to make the assumption that you guys were fucking hammered, and this will never happen again. And you guys can pay court cost and do 60 hours community service in Dogtown."
Damn.
And so I had to do that. And then when we set up the community service, and my roommate went out of town, so I had to do it like all by myself.
Oh,
And
man.
get a letter from St. James to
60 hours.
yeah.
See, I don't know if that's worth it. I'd rather pay the money.
Yeah, I would have made a
Yeah.
donation.
But the great thing was I had 3 months before my court date, so I saved up like every dollar that I had. Then I was 21, I barely had enough money to buy beer at any point
Right.
in time, and and so I just had money after that. It was
I
like
think
good.
that's actually
That's
like
awesome.
That's
an
cool.
awesome story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I heard
Who
about
told you
that.
by the way.
Danger.
Danger.
Yeah,
I
we,
like
we
this
should bring
person.
Danger on the
Like
pod.
that fucking guy doesn't have some stories, dude. He needs to be fucking. We could probably fill up a whole podcast.
So he actually told me that today, and I was like, I'm gonna ask him about that on the pod. But
Motherfucker, is that what he said?
yeah, well, cool guys. Yeah, just wrap it up. Check out this personality assessment. I think it's super interesting stuff. Track our progress on this challenge. What else, Matt? I'll let you wrap it up. Actually,
That's it. That's a good way to end it. We appreciate you guys listening. If you guys have questions or want to approach us about coming on the pod, or if one of Bobby's 70 brands want to be a sponsor, holler at your
I
boys.
tried to invite somebody on the pod this week, and somebody else filled that post with hate. So whatever. I won't go into it, but it was really
Maybe
interesting.
next week we'll talk
Maybe
about
next
it.
week we'll talk about haters
Yeah,
and letting them be your motivators.
cool.
Drink that haterade.
Hater tears.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right,
Cheers.
thanks.
Going to get another workout in.